So far this year, I'm up $653,000 on about a $1.3 million portfolio. And last month, which was the month of May, you can see that we actually had our best month to date, $209,000 in realized profits. The bulk of that, about $120,000, coming from Tesla positions. And in this video, my goal is to recap those positions and those trades on Tesla, but more importantly, to talk about why I've closed out my short-term call options on Tesla, why I'm still holding my 2026 leaps, and where I think Tesla is headed in the next couple of months. Because even though short-term I've removed some exposure, I still think there's a very high chance that Tesla can hit $500 to $600 by the end of the summer, worst case by the end of 2025. Now, if you want to learn my exact strategy that got me those returns, as well as get access to all the indicators for free, the link to our 12-course masterclass series is in the description. There's no credit card, there's no BS, there's no emailing you 1,000 times. My goal is just to share with you guys what I have learned over the past 11 years. And more importantly, all I ask in return from you guys is that you respect the strategy and you take the courses in sequential order. You don't try to shortcut things. You don't try to grab a little bit from here to there, because you have to have a core understanding of what we are doing. And me spending my first 5 years trading being extremely inconsistent, I didn't get it until about year 5.5 to year 6. I'm now on year 11. Because I was constantly trying to shortcut things, move on to a different strategy, find a way to never lose, and all of those things are very unrealistic. So I will teach you everything, and I will teach you it for free, and I will ask nothing in return other than you just respect the system. The link will be in the description. Now this year, even though things have been, very, very up and down, biggest losing day was back here on April on the 3rd for $162,000. We actually have not had a losing month, right? January, we had $99,000 profit. February, $127,000 profit. March, $101,000 profit. April, $117,000 profit. Now, I'm not showing you this to, pat myself on the back for how much money I've made. I'm just trying to show you the consistency here, right? Not the consistency each and every single day, right? There are days where I'm down a lot and days where I'm up a lot, but the consistency each and every single month. And May, even though it was a little inconsistent, which can happen, we actually had the best month that we've had this year, doubling our normal monthly returns. And the main aspect of that was because of Tesla, and we're going to talk about those positions here in a moment. If we actually go back and look over the past couple of months and couple of years, the last red month that we had was back here in August of 2024. Now, the craziest months that we had was September, October, which was $1 million profit in a month, and November. And a huge aspect of that, as you guys know, if you've been following me for a long time, was because of this massive breakout that we had here on Tesla. So this huge run where we had 37%, 11%, 18%, 7%, this rally was mainly from call options, and that's why we made so much money in those months. But normally I'm shooting for about $100,000 to $150,000 profit per month. Now let's take a look at those two big positions and profits that we ended up taking here on Tesla. So the first one we closed out here on the 12th of May. Now this is going to be all of the positions across the 50K fund and my main fund, but obviously the biggest win here were these Tesla June 6th $340 calls. The gross profit and loss on this was $67,000 for a 123% return. And here's the more disgusting part about this is that I closed this way too early. Right? If we look at my executions, I ended up buying 50 here on May 1st. I averaged down with 60 more on May 5th. Then May 12th, I ended up closing out 110. So if we look at that, May 12th, price was trading right here at $312. So I closed that out and Tesla actually continued to run about 11% in 6 days. So I actually went against my strategy a bit there because even though our daily BX bot was still long, I decided to close it, one, because I was up a lot of money, right? The actual money amount, $67,000, is a shitload of money still to me. And 123% return on the investment was also huge. The other thing is that the expiration was coming up pretty quickly. These expired June 6th. So they were less than a month till expiration, and I was holding about $120,000 worth of call options, which is a little risky. So I decided to walk away from that position entirely. Of course, a little bit early. Now, the other reason that I ended up doing that is because if we go and take a look at the other big day that we had, which we closed these out on the 27th, I was still holding while I was holding those June calls. Never mind, that was the Coinbase profit. Here we go. Friday, May 22nd. While I was holding on to those June calls, I've been also holding on to these December 18th, 2026 calls. So these were leap calls that I was holding and I was averaging down on for a while. You can see my first entry was trash. My first entry was all the way back here on Thursday, February 13th. And the thing is, our bot didn't even tell us to go long, right? I was buying because the weekly market bias was seated at that support. And so I want you to understand, even me doing this for 11 years, I still go against what I should be doing every once in a while. It's very rare, but it still happens. And I felt that price was looking to bounce around that $300 level. So I had a really shitty entry. Now, the thing I want you to understand is that when I'm taking entries in most cases, I'm going to layer or add into positions. So when I took that position, I knew I was only going in with 50% and that I was going to save another 50% to average down. And my average down was much, much better down here where we were able to get in around $287. So when we had this breakout, my thought process was, okay, I'm still holding those June calls. I'm still holding these December calls, and it's my best interest to walk away. Now, the reason I walked away then was because the BX trender, right, which you can see here, this indicator at the bottom of your screen, was no longer green and flipped red. Now you can see that if we followed this strategy just the past month and a half, we would have had a 12% profit here, a 16% profit here, then a small 2.5% loss here. Now, of course, this strategy doesn't always win. If we take a look by following this strategy alone over the past 8.2 years and following all the alerts that come out of our breakout bot in the Discord community on just Tesla, in the past 8 years, we would have made a 5,369% return over 67 positions. And here's the kicker, our win rate would only have been 55%. So this is why I tell my students all of the time that you have to remove this idea that you need to be winning all of the time, because that's simply not the truth. What you need to be focusing on is what you're winning when you have your average win versus your average loss. And that is called your risk versus reward ratio, or your RVR. So you can see that, yes, we're only winning 55% of the time. And yes, we will lose, right? Our fund would have had a max drawdown at 20%. So that means if you had $100,000 at one point, you would have been down at $80,000. But your average win is 15.4%. Your average loss is 3.49%. Your average return every time you take a trade is 7%. And your risk versus reward is 4.42. And this is why I don't care about being right all the time. This is why I focus instead on just sticking to my system. And of course, we're not always going to win, as we know. I mean, the most recent trade that we ended up taking on Tesla, we actually ended up losing. So if we go into Tesla, we just search all of our trades for just Tesla alone, you'll see this year so far, we're up $181,000 on Tesla. On Tesla alone in the past 2 years, we're up $1.8 million. So of the $4.8 million in the past 2.5 years, nearly half of that came from Tesla. And our most recent loss, which you can see happened here on the 29th of May, we had more calls for 919 that we ended up buying because the BX trender went green on May 28th. And then as soon as it hit the loss for a small 2.5% drop, we took a loss on our calls for 6.39%. And this is how you have to be. You have to be literally like dead inside, stoic as fuck, as much as you possibly can whenever you're taking trades. And it's very hard to do that when we live in a society, as much as I love X, but specifically on X, where everybody wants to attack each other and call each other idiots for selling or doing whatever it is. Like, I'm not married to a thesis. I'm not married to a stock. The only thing that I'm married to is my strategy. And that's how you guys should be as well. Now, taking a look at Tesla now for the next couple of months, this looks really, really good. I mean, the monthly chart is now green once again. The BX trender is showing buying pressure. The last time this happened was when we had that massive $1 million return from May of 2024 up to January of 2025. So if this were to happen again, from where we were playing a couple of weeks ago, we're already up 38%. That means that at least a $500 move would happen, and that would be another 100% move over the next 3 to 6 months. I think that there's a very good chance that that could happen, probably about 65%. The weekly chart is also showing higher highs and strength. Now, there is a chance, and we have to always remain objective, that price could reject here and we continue to squeeze through the summer. But as of right now, with the monthly BX showing strength, I don't think that's going to happen. And on the shorter time frames, such as the daily, our BX bot is still red and still out of a position. Price should try to bounce here around $330. Worst case scenario, price breaks support. We fill the gap down to $280 to $300. Price bounces and then rallies. And best case scenario, price bounces off the support we're at now, breaks its way up to $400 or $450. And once we see the flip on the BX trender, I will get back in again on my short-term call options. I hope this video helped, guys. Check out our Discord community. The link is in the description. Check out our free courses, and I'll see you guys next time.